Welcome to episode 18. So we're going to do something a little different today.
Okay.
We normally have, as you all know, Jairo De Leon, the De Lion.
D-Lion. Right.
We're doing something a little different in a sense that we are going to figure out about Jairo's journey. So he has been privileged to interview numerous of individuals. You've seen our chancellor on there. You've seen professionals from different divisions on the podcast. And it's great for you all to see not only just their professional side, but also their personal life, the journey that it took for them to get there. So it wouldn't be fair if we didn't know about Jairo. That's what I'm thinking. So I want to start off. I want to jump right into it. And they noticed too, we switched chairs.
Yes.
We got Jairo dressed up. I'm dressed down.
Right.
This is we're in interview mode right now.
Yes, sir.
So I want to ask you, just getting right into it, because it's important for the audience to know who you are and what you've been to become the successful individual you are today. As we all know, we talked about in numerous of episodes the barriers along the journey. It's not just a straight line. It wasn't always easy to see that light at the end of the tunnel when we started this journey. So my question to you is who is Jairo?
You ready for it?
Hey, throw it at me.
It's a lot.
Throw it at me.
It's a lot, man.
I like a lot.
Just for the simple fact that I don't look like your typical quote-unquote American. I really don't. I always throw the joke. You're an American. You speak English. And I go, let me give you a scenario. If I go right now to the border and I forget my wallet, and I tell that border patrol, hey, you know what? I live in Rialto, California. I just left my wallet on the other side. Yeah, good luck, buddy. You ain't coming back. And that's just a reality because I'm a first-generation immigrant, right? So I look, if I go, I'm technically, was born in Guatemala. So first-generation immigrant implies where you were not born here. So I came to the United States. But a little bit about me, man, on a personal side, this is what I tell people, man. It's you take it or leave it. But in my life, I believe in hierarchies. I believe that there's a hierarchy for everything. So for me, my way of being first, I'm a Christian, man, first of all. So everything is based on growing up, knowing the Bible, knowing what the Bible means, having a personal relationship with God, with Jesus Christ. So as a Christian, my true belief in Him and my personal relationship with Him has helped me through my journey, man. Believe it or not. Even knowing my position in my household. So first, I'm a Christian. Then I'm a husband. I'm a father. A son. A dog owner.
Dog, yeah, that's important.
And
like
then
little kids right there.
Yeah, and then at the end, I'm a counselor, man. So it's a hierarchy in my household. There's a hierarchy in my personal life. Meaning that when someone asks me about anything, I always go through the hierarchy level. So, for example, if someone asks me, hey, man, how do you motivate, like last time we were talking, how you stay motivated? I think about my relationship with God and how God motivates me every day. And then how my wife motivates me. Awesome. Then how my children motivate me. And then my father. And then my dog. And then my students. So I go through the hierarchy pretty much everything I do. But more importantly, man, been married 16 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I got 2 daughters. Beautiful. Yeah, man. Having 2 daughters, it ain't easy. You're outnumbered. Estrogen in that house constantly. And then I have my little Roni. You know what I'm saying? He's my only other.
What kind of dog is it?
It's Chihuahua, man.
Oh,
a Brindle.
Okay.
So he got a little rough,
Yeah.
Hey, but what kind of dog is it?
Yeah.
A Chihuahua Brindle.
Was it something that you bought from a breeder, or is this a rescue?
It was a green sheep.
Okay.
My wife said, go get a dog. I said, okay, I got a Chihuahua. She didn't want it, though. But he's been in our lives for 16 years, man. He's the other testosterone.
16 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's those type of dogs, man. Just won't move on. But we love him, man. He's been part of the family. But at the end of the day, I'm just your regular guy too, man. I'm a sports guy. I'm a big Lake fan. So we see the playoffs coming back. We're coming.
Lake show.
I'm a big Cowboy fan. I know some people may feel a little different, but it's all good.
Yeah,
when you're the star, you know what I'm saying?
Leave
you got to shine. Leave your comments. I love that. But then at the end of the day, man, I try to do my best, with people like yourself, when we have our own conversations, how I'm impacting you. but I'm always seeking out advice. I'm always like, hey man, how did you do that? Yo man, I see you got that new car. How did you do it? Like I'm always asking because either you've been through it already. I don't want to go through your mistakes. I've been through many of my mistakes already. I don't want to go through your mistakes. I want to give me the cheat sheet. Right. How did you get there? How did you get there fast? Because I'll still get there eventually.
He's dropping gems. Listen to what he's saying.
Yep. At the end of the day, man, just being an honor to my family. My dad used to always tell me, I don't care what you do. I don't know where you're going to go in the future, but don't dishonor our last name. Just do that. Deep. Don't dishonor it. Okay, I didn't get that. 12 years old, 14 years old, 20 years old. I'm 41 now, man. And to keep my dad's legacy and our last name on that platform, De Leon, oh yeah, that's De Leon. So when they look at my father, they're able to say, like we talked last time too, man, your son topped you. And I tell my dad all the time, I will top you because that is what I'm here for. You came from Guatemala to the United States for me to stay at your same level. It ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So, in a little nutshell, man, I'm just your guy. No excuse guy. It's just a journey, man. When you think about it, I know we were talking about it all week, and I was just thinking about it, man. There was moments that I didn't know I was going to get here. I really didn't know, man.
Go more deep into that. What do you mean? You didn't know you were going to get to where you're at today, or
like I didn't know this existed. I didn't know counseling existed.
So before you jump into that, because that's actually lead me into my next question. Yeah. So you had your journey. You have your journey. Your journey still continues, and currently right now you're a tenure track EOPS counselor. That's huge as far as a career move, as far as the direction in which, based off of what you were telling me, you see your life going. But break that down for us. Break that down for everybody that's watching us right now. And when I say break it down, Jairo, I'm talking about like the struggles. I'm talking about the tears. When we were talking last week, you were telling me you were working numerous of jobs. Not a long time ago, but we're talking about 3 years ago. You were in a completely different life. Yes, so break that down for us.
Well, it goes from a long way, man. I guess I always focus on where I want to be. I never really focus what I have to do to get to that place. I don't know if I'm making myself clear there. I never knew this position existed, but I knew financially I never wanted to be poor again. So whatever that means, whatever route I had to take, I was going to take that. So, I mean, the struggles, man, really come out of, I would say, junior high, high school. When I was trying to figure out, because I was hearing people going to college and making money, and how do you do that? You know, where do you go to make those decisions happen? And my experience was being okay not knowing, and be humble enough to say, I need to have a learning spirit. What do you know that I don't know, but you're making money and I'm not making money now? How can you teach me that? So my experience, even within counseling, started back in high school, man, believe it or not. Shout out to Montclair High School, Mo High. I was a peer advisor there. I didn't know peer advisors existed. Know that. Yeah.
Wow.
So Mr. Cooper and Miss Cooper, if you ever get to hear this, and Mr. Tom, Mr. T, they were big inspirations for me, man. Miss Cooper, his wife at that time, I believe they're still married, but when I was in high school, she goes, hey, would you be interested in peer counseling? And I said, well, what is that? It's helping other students kind of with their own problems, but it seems like you kind of you have that motion of helping people out. All right, cool, I'll do it. It was like 6 periods, so period, I was like, I'll go hang out, right? But it was part of taking a psychology class. You also took the peer counseling class. So what would happen is when a student would go through a difficult time and they would not want to talk to the actual school counselor, they would utilize as peer counselors. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Hey, little Tommy, how you doing? Doing good? Hey, I hear you have some problems at home. You want to talk about it? Yeah, man. So there's more of a leniency to talk to your peer versus an adult who might call your mom and dad.
Program. Yeah.
So I did that for 2 years. Then went to believe it or not, Chaffey College. I visited Chaffey College when I was maybe fourth grade, fifth grade. They took us on a trip. And we went. We were just a bunch of kids, you know. Hey, we're on the bus, the yellow bus, go run. You know what I'm saying? We're just having fun.
Yeah.
But the little thing I knew is I went and I saw Chaffey College. So by the time I got to high school, and my aunt had already graduated from Chaffey College, she goes, "Hey, you're gonna go to Chaffey College?" And I go, "Is that the one up the hill?" She goes, "Yeah, that's the one up the hill." So even at what 8 years old, I already had an idea of what it looked like. So I took myself out there. My dad signed me up, believe it or not. So I went to Chaffey College, got my 2-year degree. I did not know what I was going to do. I'm telling you right now. Don't look at me and go, "Oh, he probably knew what he was doing." I did not. I wanted to be, honestly, I wanted to be a canine police officer. That's what I wanted to be. Get that dog, you know, because I guess you take him home and you become your partner. That's why I saw myself.
Yeah.
But when
So
I started
that was
getting
your first career vision, is to go into law enforcement.
Yeah, because I wanted to help people in my neighborhood.
Nice.
Because all I saw cops is pulling up the homies, arresting them, put their face on the concrete. And I'm thinking, how can I help my neighborhood not have that? You know? But I was going through Chaffey College.
So you always wanted to give back, it seemed
Always.
like. So
Always.
from high school,
Yes.
without you knowing your career,
Yes.
you were preparing for your
Correct.
career mentally and
Correct.
by
But
duties.
I think that's an immigrant thing, man. You always want to pay back to the country that opened the doors, to the country to say welcome, but you have to pay a price. I was cool. I'll pay the price here with hot water, a bathroom. No, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But I think that's an immigrant component where your parents, hey, you gotta be grateful. You gotta be grateful. We left our homeland to come here. Okay. You know, and my grandma always insisted that. You know, we came to America, we left everything, do something about it. You know, become something. Okay, cool, I got it. So I went to Chaffey. I became a peer advisor in EOPS, believe it or not. EOPS, back in Chaffey College, man.
Full
my
circle.
my job was to make sure your academics were right, the classes were right, your financial aid was up to date. If you didn't understand what the bond waiver was, I explained that to you. I also explained to students, don't mess this up, man. This is for free. FREE. Don't mess it up. You don't mess it up.
And this was, and you weren't even graduating Chaffey. You were getting your, so you were involved in school too.
Yeah, I was an AA degree student trying to get my degree. But then I slipped up. And my EOPS counselor called me, he saw my grades. He said, "Hey, Jairo, let me speak to you for a second." And shout out to Mr. Tokes. I know you probably will see this too. He hit me up, man. He said, "Hey, your second contact, I need to talk to you." I'm cool, you know, backpack.
You walk in cool.
All my
Yeah.
D's, everything, I'm
Creased
good.
up.
Yeah, and he opened up and he goes, "Psychology, right?" Yeah, that's what I want to do. I'm gonna be a psychologist. He looked at it, he goes, "Yeah, this is not a psychologist. It's a bunch of D's and F's."
What do you think your GPA was at that time?
Maybe a 2.3, 2.5.
No, I'm talking about with the D's and F's.
Oh.
You're point 0.3.
Not even probably at the 0.1.
Yeah.
I just wasn't, because I was not into it. So he told me, "Hey, look, these grades are not going to become a psychologist. So how about we pick something else?" And I straight out looked at him. I said, "You tell me I got to pick something else?" He goes, "Well, obviously this is not working." Chris, I left there so mad, dude. I was like, this guy's not going to tell me what I'm going to do. I'm a grown man.
It was that
Gonna
pride
show
thing
him,
that
yes.
that pride.
That
yeah.
pride in me kicked in.
Yeah.
So I started going to all the classes. Boom, 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 boom. I came back my third contact. I said, "What's up, Tokes? You see those grades? Ooh, much better. These grades are much better. Let's work on them." So I kept working on them, right? And then I eventually asked him, "Hey, what do I go now from here?" He goes, "You got to go to 4-year university." 4-year university for what? For your bachelor's. So I didn't even know the process. I was learning as I was going along. Wow. Okay, so I transferred where to San Bernardino, where I got my bachelor's in sociology, social work. Wow. Which during that time, I started working at group homes that had connection with juvenile facilities, helping young men through life, right?
Right.
And then University of Laverne, right, to get my master's in counseling.
So let me ask you. So when you were working at the group home, where did that come in for you to choose counseling? How did that happen?
Okay, when I was at Mount Sac, I got laid off. Hey, there's some more funding for your position. I was an EOPS.
Was this before the group home or after?
In between.
In between.
I'm a hustler.
Okay.
So I was doing that.
Oh, he's group home.
I was doing everything. I was a shelter.
Yeah. Nice.
Operation Safe House. Give love to Operation Safe House here in Corona, Riverside. But I was doing that. I was doing Mount Sac, and then I got laid off. I got laid off coming back from my honeymoon.
Ooh.
So I got home. I told the new wife, "Hey, what's up, good? Hey, what you doing? Hey, I just lost my job." What? I said, I just lost my job. And this is one thing, going back to what I said initially, man. Your personal faith, right, always helps. And my wife said, well, God got something better for you. Don't sweat. Just keep on grinding. I said, okay, I got you, Mom. So then, once again, full circle, like Chris was saying, at Mount Sac, there was this white older gentleman named Mr. Mark Longway.
Like how you remember all the names. Of those inspirations.
Yes, you have to. You have to, because at the end of the day, they were part of your journey.
Absolutely.
They weren't just not a little glimpse. They were part of your journey. And Mark Longway, Mark, if you ever watched this, thank you, brother. Once again, Mark Longway, I met him in 2004, 2005. He was called a freeway counselor, multiple colleges. He would come in and do his work and bounce. Come in, work and bounce. And I said, man, I know this dude's making money because he's going from different places. So I stopped him one day and I said, hey, Mr. Longway, I got a question for you. How is it that you do this, man? How do I become you? He says, you got to go get your master's. Go get your master's and you'll get here and you start working at different colleges. Okay, sir. Boom. Got it.
That's all you needed to hear.
I started interviewing different counselors. Where did you go? 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 Ran University of Laverne. Oh, 8 out of 10 went to Laverne. Guess where I'm going? University of Laverne. So I went to University of Laverne for that. Full circle, 15, 16 years later, I'm getting interviewed here for the full-time position of Mark Longway, who's retiring.
Wow. Yeah.
So full circle, this is the guy who told me, this is what you got to do, and not knowing that 16 years later, I was going to replace his job.
And what I like, and I made the comment that you keep mentioning those aspirations, but I want those that are listening to understand that Jairo's journey needed those individuals to sort of, it was like a pivot. It was like they were sort of guiding you. So within our episodes, we've been talking about finding that mentor or mentors. And just that part I wanted to just make sure to highlight, because it's inspirational how you are able to come back and take his position. But even before that, even before you're taking this position, what were you doing? What did your schedule look like? What
man.
It wasn't just you when you figured out that he was a freeway counselor. You went from your master's to doing that. But from our conversation, you had your master's, and you were doing numerous of things before you got to enjoy that.
Yeah, man. So think about it for a second, and just to reiterate a little bit what you said. You may be going, oh, he went to Chaffee, he went to San Bernardino, he went to Laverne. Oh, that's nice. 1, 2, and 3. That's cool. But I was actually working for a company for 20 years, okay? Worked for UPS, man. I'm a proud UPS, so what can Brown do for you? That was the whole thing for a good 10 years, right? 15 years. And I would leave my house, Chris, 7:30 in the morning.
7 in the morning.
Drop off my kids, school. Love y'all. See you guys. I would come here at 8 o'clock. By the way, this is after I got my master's, okay? I would come here at RCC from 8 to 2:30. I would leave here from 2:30 to 3:30. I had an hour to change, eat, use the facilities if I need to, start working at UPS at 4 p.m. From 4 p.m. all the way to 2:30, 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
I'll be getting home. The earliest I would probably say 3:30 in the morning, and then I had to get up back at 6:30. That's 2 to 3 hours of sleep for a good, I would say, good 15 years out of those 20 years.
So that was your schedule for 15 years.
Good 15
was
years.
This Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday, and then Tuesday through Saturday in some cases, because I had to put a bid to get a better schedule.
Wow.
But all my schedule was always a night shift because I wanted to be with my kids. But the hardest thing for me was, I want to say my 15th year, 16th year, my body started wearing down. I couldn't do the 3-4 hours of sleep no more. I was doing 96 hours a week. So even then, I was teaching on Saturdays.
Yeah, you had Chaffee.
Teaching.
That's right.
I was doing some counseling there, counseling here, and then I was going to UPS for 40 plus hours, 45 hours a week. not including Saturday and Sundays for overtime if I wanted that extra money. And I'm telling you right now, not even thinking about holiday. November, December was money day. I'll tell you right now, I was doing up to, I think in a week, I was doing about 80 hours. In a week. Just at UPS on Christmas. Because that's when you're making money. So while I was doing that, UPS, doing all these movements, 2-3 years ago is when I retired.
2 or 3 years officially, and when we say retired, you retired, pension and all of that,
everything,
right?
walk away. Hey, this is what you're gonna get at a certain age. I said, cool. The saddest things for me now is that a lot of the guys I had to once again move on, it were guys that we started working at 17. So these were cats that I was working with that we became fathers together. We became homeowners together.
That's deep.
And some of us in cases became grandpas because some of them were a little bit older than me. But that's 20 years, man, that I had to let go. And believe it or not, viewers, I was making great money. I was making good money. UPS is a great company. But that was not me, man. That's and important. A lot of my, quote unquote, my boys I miss would tell me, yo, man, when are you getting out of here? When are you going to get out of here? Like literally like
that's what they kept at, yeah.
When are you going to get out? You're more than this. Because I also had the other side of the coin. People were laughing. You're never going to get out of here. You're just like the other person who has a PhD unloading trailers. I would hear that. They were constantly reminding me. And I would say, I will retire before you retire. And I'll be making more money than you. That was always my motivation. Boom, 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 boom. Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. But the hardest thing for me, Chris, was not seeing my kids, man. Every other day I had to see my kids. So
Jairo, I want to ask you this. And I'm going way off script, but the stuff that you're saying is just making me think of other questions that the viewers could relate to.
Yeah.
What was it that kept you going? And I say that because a lot of people, just couldn't sustain such a schedule like that. Waking up at 7:30, not getting home till 3:30. You would tell your kids, "I'll see you tomorrow." What kept you going? What was it that made you say, "You know what? I'm just gonna stay at UPS." How did your brain tell yourself to keep pushing, keep going for RCC, keep working at Chafee, keep this schedule?
It's the winning ticket. I deserve the winning ticket, but without any sacrifice. A price has to get paid. Someone paid a price for me, I have to pay the price for my kids. I cannot leave my house when I move on, my kids have something. That's what kept me going, the winning ticket, that winning ticket. I think about, I'm a big Kobe fan, by the way. I know he's no longer with us, but I'm a big Kobe fan because he had the same mentality. How many championships, bro? Championship. Like he had that hunger to one day rest and maybe have time with his kids, which towards his end of his life, he's spending time with his kids. And I really appreciate that. And I said, why can't I have that? So I started working hard. And believe it or not, I didn't know this position existed. I really didn't, man. Even the tenure, I didn't know tenure existed.
Yeah.
Until I learned it from you and I learned it from other people. Hey, tenure, man, tenure. What? I was so ignorant because all I wanted to become is a full-time counselor. I wanted to share that, hey, if you're an immigrant, I got you. If you're poor, I got you. If I work 45 hours a week plus school, I got you. My mindset is so negative. I have no positive in me. I got you. Like there's a whole list. I can go check. The only one I don't is grandfather because I'm not a grandfather yet. Can't wait. God willing. Wait to be a grandfather. But I'm able to help any student. If you're poor or rich, man, I got you because now I think I'm rich. I tell my kids all the time, I'm rich, not you. But because I worked so hard. But at the same time, it's things I have to remember, man. Because we can get easily caught up in the whole world of, it's easy. But no, you have to pay a price, man. You do. But yeah, that's I'm just not no excuse guy. I'm sorry, my job is to provide you a dream because I'm living my dream. When I talk to a student, what is your dream? Well, let's talk about my class. Stop. What is your dream?
Like that, yeah.
Because once you tell me your dream, I can make it happen. How is that? Take that class. Don't take that one yet. Take this one instead. boom, 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 mapping it out.
Good.
So
good.
for me, that was one of the things, Chris.
Thank you. Okay. And just transitioning from there, when we think and talk about you growing up, going through what you went through, what advice would you have for your younger self if you met with a Jairo? And you asked me this question last time during my interview, and I loved it. I loved it because it's deep in a sense to where you're thinking about maybe the things that you wish you would have had more help on, maybe the subject matters or the shortcuts. You were talking about shortcuts earlier. What is it that you would tell your younger self if Jairo De Leon, a young EOPS student, immigrant, came and sat across you for a counseling appointment?
First of all, I'll say don't trip about the hair. It's gone. Don't worry about it. You're going to lose your hair. The 3 flowers, the Murrays, don't worry about that. That's going to take care of the hair. Right? Take you back to your days.
3 flowers.
What I would tell my younger self, man, at 41 right now, if I can go back, is pay the price. Sacrifice. Pay the price.
So sacrifice more?
Just everything you do, it's something you're putting up. You're sacrificing something for something better. Don't worry about the outcome right now. It's going to get better. The story gets better. This is just the beginning. Have a spirit, have a learning spirit. Don't get caught up on your ego. Don't be dumb like that. That's what I tell my younger self.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry about the future. Worry about just, you're doing something and it's going to pay off. Maybe not in your time, but it's going to be in God's time. And that's big for me, right? It's always going back. Think about it, Chris. 20 years, man. Loading, unloading.
Yep.
30 degrees, 38 degrees. Here, jacket. Working on the airplanes. And you're telling yourself one day I'm not going to be here? You really have to believe there's someone greater than you who's going to allow you to be somewhere better.
Right.
I'm telling you, man, there's days I would go home. Man. Freezing my legs. I would have to turn in the tub. My wife would come, and I'm sorry if I get emotional. It takes me back to those days. My wife would come to me, hey, what are you doing? I said, I had to turn in the water. I had to get hot water on my feet just to feel my legs, man. Because there were days that were so cold. They were so cold. And just going back to the bed and and go to sleep. And wake up 3 hours later. And come back and say, hey, this is another day. I'm breathing. I'm good. It's a good start, So even that, man, those are the moments I try to remind myself. That's why I tell all my students too. There's going to be one point. You're 20, you're 30, you're 40 years old. You're not going to be as young as you are now. Take advantage of going to school. You're young, your strength, use that. Because at 41, I get up now, Chris. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, what is that? Mm-hmm. Man, I just moved my arm. But then you start thinking about, okay, what is my legacy going to be in the next 20 years? Okay. So that's what I'll tell my younger self, man. I know we're running off time, man, but this is just life, man. It's really life, and I can share with people. But that's what I tell my younger self is sacrifice. Hey, no pain, no gain. You know what I'm saying? You got to have pain in order to get that gain. Yeah. But yeah, man.
Yeah. And I want to thank you again too, because you've put in so much work for this VCast for our audiences to make sure that they're able to hear this story and being able to be here and hear professionals. There was no way we could end this season off without hearing about yourself, learning about you, both professional and personal. If you have any questions, leave comments, subscribe, like, share this. If you'd like to talk with Jairo personally, make sure that you go into the EOPS office in the Student Services Building, Charles A. Kane.
Right.
We'd love to hear from you. Jairo, you have any last words before we end this off?
Just remember, I'm as human as you are. I'm as emotional as you are, and I'm a grown man. Yeah. But a grown man sometimes has to share tears to be able to look at the outcome of his hard work. So once again, tune in. Okay.
Yeah. And Jairo, thank you for being so vulnerable too.
Thank you.
You really opened up. You were vulnerable, and it was real. That's how passionate you were. But yeah, we definitely want to hear from you all. Episodes we're seasoning out. Thank you so much.